Oh my God, we're live.
Yes, we are live. Only Marks Wrestling Podcast. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Sorry about the late start. We were doing a little ASAT trivia over at JPO's channel that I'm sure he'll talk about when we get to the end of the show and can discuss. Yeah, we're here to talk some wrestling and get to it. And yeah, it was a busy week of wrestling, so we're going to touch on all of it. I'm Austin Pezel here with my two cohorts, as always, Mr. JPO, Jordan Owens. How's it going, buddy?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, busy week in wrestling. Even in the notes section, got about future busy weeks in wrestling. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, we got a lot going on. Richie Goodacre, how's it going, Richie?
Yeah, no, going good. And look, for all your Wheeler Movies fans, don't worry, we'll be back next week. Look, I know you're clamoring for that. I'm a busy boy, but I'm back. And we're talking about wrestling, and it should be a good time. A lot of wrestling to cover, right, as you said. So yeah, it should be fun.
Sure. For sure. Yeah, we'll get into the news here and the current events real quick. I'll just quickly update the fantasy scores. I won't spend a lot of time on this. But as far as the predictions, by the way, because that does tie into fantasy, we had a tie of Night of Champions predictions between Richie and JPO, 4 apiece. So nobody went, 6 for 6. Nobody quite winning all those. So JPO gets another one as if he needs it. So now he has 5 roster swaps leading into the final month of WWE roster. Then that resets. We go to AEW. But Richie, you did pick up one, so you went from 0 to 1. So you do have one in your back pocket. Should you choose to use one? And then as far as the actual points coming out of the week, unfortunately, Richie, you only had 10 points between the 3 shows. So your roster, you only had. I believe Joe Hendry in a winning match on Raw, and that's it out of your entire roster. Nobody else wrestled the entire weekend on your roster, so I apologize.
You lazy fucks, really? Come on.
So that's all you had. Ronda coming in right behind him with a decent week, but not a lot. JPO and I kind of had the most performative weeks. I had a pretty good Night of Champions with at least 2 of my people in the main event of Night of Champions, even though they lost, but still in the main event there. I had Trick and Tiffany defending titles, things like that. And actually, Julia is technically in the main event of SmackDown because that was the last actual match that was on SmackDown. It's technically a main event. And then JPO, I had a decent week, a couple of 10s, a couple of 5s, things like that, but had a big 50 for Night of Champions for his boy Sami Zayn winning the title.
Yeah, baby.
And the main event of Night of Champions, that's 50 big points just for that. So there you go, with old Sammy. So yeah, just a quick little brief recap. The current updated standings. Richie, unfortunately, is at 1550, lagging behind now, kind of where I was a little while back. I have jumped up to 1705, so I'm at least within shooting distance now. JPO at 1775, and Ronda with an even 1800, still in the lead, but JPO within 25 striking points, and that's a one-show, difference right there. So pretty easily. So anything can happen. We got a couple more weeks until 2 nights of SummerSlam, and that'll be the end of fantasy coming up. So that'll be our last chance to see who takes it out on top. So I don't know the way it's looking. It looks like it might be a race between JPO once again taking it as he did last time, and me getting my girl a gift card. And coming in and winning her first one. So, but there you go. Anyway, so we'll move on and get things going. So, a lot of news coming out of the weekend. We can hit a couple of the highlights and then get more into detail, as far as when we get into the actual reviews. But kind of your main headlines over the weekend, of course, maybe your big one. As we mentioned, Sami Zayn is your new WWE champion, first time with that world title. So congrats to him. We'll talk more about it when we get into Night of Champions. Obafemi is your new King of the Ring, who we'll talk about the follow-up to that. We'll talk about it when we get into the show. We can talk about the follow-up to that and how they followed that up with an on Raw. But Io Sky is your Queen of the Ring, defeating Liv Morgan. And then, so those are kind of the main points. A few other things in Night of Champions, we'll kind of leave it at that. Your Forbidden Door stuff. Will Ospreay defeated Swerve Strickland to win the Owen Hart Cup. So he is going on to Wembley, as we all kind of predicted he would. And Mercedes Moné wins the women's Owen Hart Cup. And then we'll get into some more stuff and some rapid fire fallout from MJF and who he's facing and what's going on. It's wacky chaos, and they're doing one of our favorite booking things, Richie, with the somebody who's voluntarily booking themselves into a corner just like Cody Rhodes did in AEW. We'll talk about
Yeah.
that. Which
And
is
you've
one of
got
the
like
stupid, and Hangman did, which is one of the
and-
stupidest things you can do.
but also you've got like a pay-per-view in Canada, one of your biggest stars in Canada, future
Yes.
pay-per-view, but you're doing it next week. Anyway, cool.
Yeah, I we'll talk about it. I don't get AEW sometimes. Like you have a match in a pay per view in a couple of weeks, just have no whatever. We'll get there. So just a few of the big things there. Yeah, we can talk about some other stuff because we'll get into more in depth of Forbidden Door and Night of Champions. JPO, I know you watched TNA. What kind of news coming out of Slammiversary that you could? I know we had a new champion over there as well, things like that. So
Yeah, lots of shenanigans happened over the anniversary Slammiversary 24 technically. How long TNA has been around, so good for them for always sticking it out here. Yeah, well, the first matches on the pre-show was Ricky Sosa defeating Eric Young. So some news that now being what will be Eric Young's last TNA match. It did come out though. It sounds like he asked for his release, and looks like he might be going over to NXT to be a player/coach. So kind of making the jump as well. Another person that people thought might be sticking out for TNA, but lots of changes happening both from them and then other people wanting to get let go. We saw the X Division Ultimate X match open the show. Cedric Alexander retained. Didn't do a lot either. I feel like he did the littlest, but walked out your victor here. That did see the return of Amazing Red. And as I predicted, me and no one else, they invited him to the Hall of Fame.
Oh man, that's crazy. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah.
But yeah, no, good call, Pez. Yeah, Amazing Red. Frank Kazarian afterwards stopped him from leaving, and they showed a nice little highlight package. And yes, he will be joining the Hall of Fame along with ODB and probably others to be announced. I know you guys were worried. Elijah, the former Elias, got the rights back to his music catalog.
Oh, I was on beta breath.
So that's good. He can still strung that same four
chords. And what I heard was a pretty decent match, actually. I heard a lot of praise for that one.
Not bad. They gave him some time. My qualm, if you want me to get specific, maybe you'll understand. Lots of near falls for the second match on the card. Styles Clash, Powell Drivers, only getting twos. And I'm like, it's the second match. We could say that later. But, but no, I think AJ's actually had a pretty good TNA run, actually. I'll give credit to AJ Francis where it's due, top dollar. New Knockouts tag team champions, Rosemary and Allie, aka the Bunny. They are now your tag team champions here. Mustafa Ali retained the international title, defeating Rich Swann and Uhan Nation, the former Apollo Crews, popping into TNA in a surprise there. So no word yet from what I could tell if this was a one-off, if he'll be there for a couple tapings, or if he's a full-on signee. I know they haven't really released a graphic as far as I can tell saying he's signed, so time will tell as whether or not this was, a tryout or a sign or whatever. Moose won the surrender match against Eddie Edwards. We have a new knockout champion in Zaya Brookside. She defeated the former Zia Lee. So Zaya's your new champion. I think for the fifth time, the Hardy Boys regained the titles. Not sure if you even knew they lost the titles, but they regained them. They defeated the System, the Righteous, and the Great Hands. No longer the Good Hands, by the way, the Great Hands. In a crazy ladder match in about 16 minutes. And then, finally at the end of the night, the Wanted Man, the former Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, defeated Mike Santana in 14-15 to win the World Championship. Of course, lots of rumors that this might be Santana's farewell and that he could be popping up, not too far from now. His contract was supposedly ending in the summer, and maybe he could very well be your next, version of Joe Hendry popping up on NXT, Raw, or SmackDown at some point.
Okay. And so we had.
I don't know if it was announced. I don't know if it was announced, but if it's on your docket, I might bet. But I think Sean Ross Sapp said that Conan's going into the TNA Hall of Fame as well.
I didn't see that.
So yeah.
I thought maybe. And the other show we talked about, if either of you guys checked it out, NXT's Great American Bash. I know Richie, I think you said you saw it. If you wanted to kind of
comment on a few things. It was a good show. It was a solid show. The Tony D'Angelo evil. I can't really get used to calling the car match went on first, which is surprising. Actually, like the match was kind of short too. It was like it'd be like just over 10 minutes or so. And with Tony retaining, you had Zaria defeating Tatum Paxley in quite a good match. Tatum Paxley's improved quite a lot. She's quite good.
More people think that could be Tatum's final match too. That's been popping back up again.
Yeah, she also. I don't know if we can get to it. She got attacked by a debut on NXT. She got attacked by Nikki Black next on the NXT previous on the actual show.
I'll never get credit, but I was trying to book her for May, and now she's signed. So I just want to the record that I knew she was going to be pretty big. So
I'll give you the credit, sure. Why not?
And then you had Dion Maddox. Actually, Quan Sugars beat Dion Maddox, but I forgot he won because they attacked him right afterwards. So so I was like, okay, I'm not a huge fan of doing that. And then I'm pretty sure I'm missing one other match, but probably the biggest sort of highlight is Kendall Gray is your new NXT Women's Champion. A really, really good match in Solar Vice. Kendall Gray's going to be a huge star, and they're probably. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Vices gets called up relatively soon here too. She's pretty good, and they had a really good match. That if you go out of your way to see a match, I'd recommend that. Oh, and also Miles Bourne to Tavian Heights, which is that's a decent match as well. So check it out. It was a good show. So nothing sort of blow away other than the last match, but it's still a pretty good show, and still no Booker T was way better. So hopefully Booker T comes back soon. I'd recommend it, but it's not like one of their better shows.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the actual kind of news notes, and then we'll swing back around to WWE stuff and Night of Champion and fallout of all that. And then I figure we'll mix in that news kind of mostly with the Night of Champion review. We can kind of, bounce between that and like the Raw follow-up, things like that. Same thing with Forbidden Door and the follow-up on Dynamite. But JPO, you said you had a hefty bit of news and notes and stuff going on.
Yeah.
So hit it, man. What you got?
Kind of also, it was mentioned, of course, at the very beginning of TNA Slammiversary. I mentioned last week Joe Doring, unfortunately, was in hospice. I believe the very next day he did indeed sadly pass here. Brain cancer came back. I believe they said the third or fourth time. So they had a nice 10-bell salute. Cody Deaner looked a lot like the hometown man, but that's a separate point. Cody Deaner has said some nice words about him. They were, of course, part of Violent by Design, the group along with Eric Young. A couple years back here. So 10-bell salute for him to open up the show. Lots of people wearing the Joe armbands throughout the night here. So, shout out to Joe Doring. As I said before, last week, TNA Tag Champion in All Japan, former WWE developmental guy, a father, a husband. So, shout out to everyone that knew and loved Joe Doring. Lots of titles that actually changed hands since we last talked here. Max Abrams is now your WWE ID champion. He's been doing popping up in Evolve. He has Main Man Energy is his gimmick over in Evolve. Max Abrams is the ID champion. Over in Ring of Honor, Mystico and Mascaro Dorado are now your tag team champions. So that's a pretty good lucha team right there. I already went over all the TNA and NXT new champions. But AEW is also not done because since we've talked, Hikaru Shida is now your TBS Women's Champion, winning that Survival of the Fittest last night. So Hikaru Shida is now holding that championship. We mentioned Eric Young popping back probably to NXT. Not sure if he'll appear on maybe TV like a Lindsay Dorado occasionally, or if he'll just be backstage. But time will tell. Don't forget you got like if you wonder where Oni Lorcan is, that's where he is, backstage. Timothy Thatcher is on Evolve. He's like their GM, if you wonder where Timothy Thatcher is. Hey, it's just when we get rid of some Samoans, WWE's bringing in maybe another Samoan. Lots of rumors that Zilla Fatu has been seen at the PC recently here. So he is the son of Umaga, is his direct lineage there. So could be seeing Zilla Fatu popping up full time at the PC and then later on NXT. It does look like indeed Road Dogg, aka Jesse James, will be joining the TNA Creative, but it looks like Delirious Hunter will be the kind of the lead going on forward here. So Delirious, who's of course worked as a wrestler for Ring of Honor and TNA in the past, was also the booker for Ring of Honor for several years before Tony Khan bought it out. Natty Neidhart is continuing her kind of unique legacy here. She'll be popping back into NWA. So WWE contracted wrestler Natty will be popping up at the 78th anniversary show, July 25th at the ECW Arena. Hopefully they can use the footage because they didn't use the footage last time. So hopefully they have that in the contract this time. It would be nice to actually have her on the television show. NWA also will be doing some more television here. Right now, Billy Corgan and Comet TV are producing Into the Fire, a kind of tough enough LFG-like show here where 8 participants will be competing for an NWA contract. They'll be doing tryouts August 21st and the 22nd in Tampa, Florida. So maybe I'll have some friends on that show. We'll see. I'm sure a lot of Florida cats will show up. Why not? It's in their neck of the woods. No prior experience is necessarily required, so they are kind of doing a tough enough style. So if you're an athlete or have a cool character, you still might make it onto the show. So then again, how do I vote for you over somebody that's been a 10-year vet? I don't know. We'll see. But the NWA Into the Fire is being produced. Hey, Pez, never say Tony Khan doesn't listen, because people have been saying about those pay-per-views, like, what do we watch? Forbidden Door till 1 a.m.? Or Forbidden Door end? So the Redemption pay-per-view on July 26th will start at 7 instead of 8 o'clock Forbidden Door time. So Redemption will be going an hour earlier, pre-show at 6, main show at 7. So maybe trying to end a little earlier.
I just don't see the problem with that. Like it's a minor thing, but like it makes a difference. Yeah. Literally, ending before or after midnight is a drastic difference for those of us on the East Coast. Like the next day or that night is a big thing, or at least for me personally. So I still wish you would go back to Saturdays because I think people have been asking about that because that way you're still in the weekend, when the show the next day. For us, I didn't mind it because I was off on Sunday. So I can still go to bed.
And I can join you.
Yeah, and Richie can watch too. Yeah, hey, consider us Tony Khan, okay? I know you watch. Go back to Saturdays after Wembley, please. Come on now, come on. Think about us.
We mentioned Conan earlier here. Shout out love to Conan here. He's currently still healing up personally. He unfortunately had a leg amputated a few months back here, so he's still kind of healing up from that. Still producing that podcast though. Keeping it 100 with Disco Inferno, which again I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the story, but he did talk about me once. I don't remember why. Someone was like, "Conan just mentioned your name. Why did he mention my name? I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason." Yes, people also speculating about Scorpio Sky's contract. That supposedly he signed a 5-year deal back in 2021, so that should be also expiring sometime in the next few months. We've mentioned him. He's another one of those cats that just kind of appears and disappears and appears and disappears and reappears. So I wouldn't be gobsmacked if this might be the end of Scorpio Sky and AEW. I like him a lot, but I didn't hear you, Richie. What?
I'd be surprised if he resigned.
If I would be surprised if Tony signed because, Tony, you're just wait. I think you should do something with him, but if you're not, then you're just wasting money. Everyone's different. Like, for instance, Kazarian was somebody that was straight up like, hey, if you're not doing nothing with me, let me fucking go somewhere else. Then there's, of course, the JCGs that will be, catering and just hope that, he can keep his job as long as possible. So everyone's different. I don't foul anyone for, I'll sign the contract if you want me to make money doing nothing. You know what I mean? I'm finding more weird of Tony Kevin. So we just witnessed both Great American Bash and Forbidden Door happening at the same time. Well, they must like it because All in London and Heatwave will be happening at the same time. So, yeah, gotta figure out what you're gonna watch. The both shows probably be airing a little bit earlier in the day. Heatwave 2 is advertising some AAA involvement as well coming up on that night.
If I remember right, the other time they went to Wembley, I think they started at like 3 p.m. or something, like Eastern time.
Yeah, it'll be an earlier afternoon, right?
Like a mid-afternoon type of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people were speculating it might just be 3 again. I think I read 3 somewhere, but they weren't sure.
Yeah.
They asked Adam Copeland about, do you still plan on retiring? And there was a point where he had said he might retire at 54, which would be next year. But he said between injuries and also, getting cast in Beekeeper 2, amongst other things, that has derailed his retirement because he still feels there's a lot of people that he still wants to go toe-to-toe with, both in tags and singles. So he said a year? Yeah, probably not. I got more work to do. So don't expect Cope to necessarily disappear anytime soon. And while we'll talk about the end of career, let's talk about the beginning of career. A phenomenal junior made his debut. Avery Styles made his debut, including having AJ by his side recently here. So could be seeing another Styles get more and more name called out soon here. So Avery Styles is on the scene. And then the last thing I have, Pez, is a screen share if you want to follow this up.
Okay, let's do it.
Another big thing from TNA Slammiversary was the announcement of a new women's TV title. Right now being said exclusively just on the television show is what it seemed like they were saying. So yeah, you'll see the first bracket here, including a couple unsigned people like Gabby Forza, as well as some NXT people like Thea Hale. So there's your first side of the Knockouts TV tournament. Yes, that is the other one. So yeah, Indy Hardwell, Vicky Benito, Harley Hudson, Thea Hale, Elena Black, Winnie Chu, Emma Elegance, and Rosemary on the right side, Jada Stone, Alicia Edwards, Jody Thread, Gabby Forza, Mara Sade, Tasha Steeles, and Heather by Elegance and Alley. So one of these women will walk out the first ever Knockouts TV champion here. So,
all right, there we go.
That's what I got.
That's what you got, Richie. You got any news or notes?
Yeah, just sort of updates on a couple of things we talked about a couple weeks ago. Let's confirm on Fight for Select that Big Cass is leaving AEW and is going back to the WWE. I think we all suspected that was going to be the case. He's leaving once his contract runs out, and I think the idea is that they want Enzo and Cass to start out to start out NXT, which is interesting. I don't know. I would put them on the main roster, but he's rejoining WWE. I think it's a cool redemption story for him as well. I think that's just a kind of a full circle moment, So yeah, I expected that, and it also, according to Sean Satori, despite him kind of brushing it off on social media, it looks like Baron Corbin is finishing up with MLW, and he's going back to WWE. They're even doing the storyline on MLW right now, where he's having there's been falling out in contract negotiations between Bishop Dyer and MLW, and so they're even planting the seeds there that he's leaving. So I expect to see him back in the next maybe a few months or so. So Baron Corbin making his way back to WWE, doing something. So so there's that. That was pretty much. I had all the other things on. JP mentioned. So yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. We'll jump into some of these other news that kind of relate to WWE and AEW as we kind of talk about the shows that happened over the weekend. So we'll just go in kind of chronological order. We'll start with a little Night of Champions. So just quickly, again, just kind of running down the results, and then we can go back and talk about individual stuff. Obafemi beating Jey Uso to win the Men's King of the Ring. Io Sky over Liv Morgan to win the Women's King of the Ring, the Queen of the Ring. Seth Rollins defeating Braun Breaker in the cage match. Trick Williams Williams defending his title against Ricky Saints. Tiffany Stratton defeated Jade Cargill to retain her Women's U.S. Championship. And yes, Sami Zayn is your new undisputed WWE champion in the main event. So, yes, I had two guys in the match, and JPO still came out on top of that one with his roster, with his one guy. So, there you go. Yeah, and we were kind of split on some of those predictions, going into the show. But yeah, I think we'll mostly just hit on kind of the three main matches kind of coming out of that. Okay, so admittedly, I have not seen the show. I didn't get a chance to watch it all week. I've been just busy all week. So I'm aware of like all the news and the happenings and whatnot. But if you guys watch it, you can comment a little bit more. But yeah, we could definitely talk about Obafemi. We did not have Brock Lesnar showing up. He would not show up until Raw. So someone maybe predicted he might have showed up, in Saudi to get involved, and he did not. Oba is your new champion. And then on Raw, forgoes his title opportunity at SummerSlam to finish his grudge feud with Brock Lesnar inside a Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. JPO, how are we feeling about this? That the King of the Ring is not gonna use.
I know some people have said supposedly it's just postponed, that it's not totally like revoked by any means. I don't know. We'll see. No, this is unfortunately the way I kind of thought it might go down. I don't know if you remember. You guys made good points about like, oh, well, Oba's in the middle of something else. I'm like, yeah, but Jay's not going to win the King of the Ring, and like they're pushing Oba, I guess. So I figured Oba would win. The match itself was also just kind of whatever. I didn't like that the match too much. It was fine, but yeah, I mean it's just obvious, both people already kind of the King of the Ring winners and Queen rather too, are both kind of okay, cool. The people that are already high up on the card, so that's fine. Are we doing the whole thing or just one at a time? What are we doing?
I mean, if you want to talk about the rest, I figure
I don't have a shit ton to say.
We were just going to mostly. I figure we're mostly just going to hit on the two King of the Ring, and the main. Really, that was about it because I don't think anything else.
Well, I don't really. I was going to be super brief about the entire thing. I'll say.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You keep going.
Totally. No, because like I said, the both King and Queen are fine. The cage match is really good. Probably like as maybe my match of the night actually. I like the U.S. match, but at the same time, I thought they were both kind of tweeners, so I don't think there was much emphasis on it. It was an oddly booked match for the show, although I'm glad Ricky was on the show. Tiffany and Jade wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst either. And yeah, just really big shout out to Sami Zayn. It's the only reason why I think I'll give this pay-per-view a positive rating, because I do like the fact that they actually did something kind of different, and I'm excited. And I thought the match worked better than just another Cody Gunther match. So I thought the triple threat was actually also a decent match.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy for Sammy. I just didn't know if they would actually have the guts to like pull the trigger. We talked about that on the predictions, just because the booking has seemed very like safe lately. We talked about how they could have done something similar with like Jacob Fatu, and excited things.
I always figured he had a better shot than Jacob, but
yeah. I mean, Sammy is a company guy. He's been there for a long time, obviously, and huge ups to him for getting his huge world title in. I think you guys would agree, and what will be added to most likely a Hall of Fame career. I would say when it's all said and done, dude certainly, deserves it. So, Richie,
I thought it was that was that moment definitely took to like just a forgettable show to like a memorable. You needed that show that moment to actually have it to be like a decent show or like something to talk about. Yeah, because the King of the Ring match is fine, but yeah, like that. I think just getting away the title shot, even postponing it, is a big fuck you to even the competitors involved. You're like, no, the deal was SummerSlam, and considering where they're going, because we're talking, Seth Rollins is getting the title shot at SummerSlam. Why don't Seth Rollins just win? Seth Rollins should have just won King. I mean, I'm glad that I think King of the Ring should be built for a new emerging star to come through. But if you're going to give Seth Rollins a title shot, just give it to. I'd rather have someone win and get a title shot at SummerSlam like you build it towards, and someone just give away the title shot. That just kind of just feels like fuck you, King of the Ring. I don't like. It feels like a waste of time. And the other things, it was all right. The crowd felt like, maybe you're like what the Saudi crowd was initially. It's kind of not the greatest Saudi crowd in the world. Especially they're pretty dead for like Trick Williams and Ricky Saints, unfortunately. But it was still cool to see Ricky Saints on the card. You kind of felt like you knew that Liv Morgan was going to lose because they had Danhausen come out and curse her right away. But the semis thing is cool, and it's cool for him. I probably would have also had Braun. I don't know. I think Braun should have. But if they're going in the direction of him getting the title, then maybe Seth should have won. But I don't know. I would have had. I don't know Braun win. I just think it's just time to elevate new stars. But overall, I think it's a decent show. Oh, one thing I'll mention. All through the show, I don't know if you noticed, Michael Cole's headset was fucked. And his headset was like he had a really terrible so for most of the time he was like announcing and it was just crackling. At one point I think he had to it just blew out. He had to borrow Corey's. But then he yelled so much at Corey's one that blew out. So there was no comments. They had the cheapest head. I don't know what happened, but they had the cheapest headset. It was like the commentary on the show was it was weird because they were both like crackly as shit. That was interesting. But overall the show was good. But it could have been. I know Brian Alvarez ranted about it, going, "I don't want to say good things."
Well, and he was, him and Dave went back and forth. I did see that clip, and it was like, well, Brian's whole point was just like, you advertise that the winner gets a shot at SummerSlam. That's what you advertise, and now you go back on that a day after. So if you're gonna go back on it, then why not just have somebody else win it? If Oba wasn't gonna take the title shot at SummerSlam anyways, and he could just get a title shot later down the line because he's Oba and he's winning big matches.
If he's gonna win, say if it's going to do down the line, say it's a big show, WrestleMania, just have him win the Rumble or something.
A future title shot is the easiest way around.
Yeah, just say he gets a future title shot whenever they ask for one or
once
whatever.
Once I'm done with Brock, I'll see whoever the champion
is. Yeah. Just say you get one down the line, but you have to. It's not like Money in the Bank. You have to announce you won a title shot, and then Adam Pearce or whoever can be like, okay, you're doing a title shot whenever you want it. Okay, I want it at this show, or I want them, whatever. You could do that. You don't have to advertise for a specific thing and then go back on it. That's the silly part. So,
I mean, he was also Brian Binney was ranting about obviously. The ads are an issue, but he was ranting about lately they've been doing the thing where they show different announcers from other countries reacting to certain things. It's if I want to see that, I would put on that thing. I'm I don't know, man. It's kind of cool. I don't mind it. I don't hate it, but it is sort of waste.
But if you're just sitting there watching the show live and you're ready to get back to some wrestling, I could understand that.
I get it, but it's fine. I like just brief snippets here and there of seeing people go, oh, yeah. But I know it's probably just a fill-in time, which can be annoying. But but I don't know. I thought the show was fine, but yes, it's just not your average Saudi. The crowd was coming to expect that they're actually they seem bored for most of the thing, and it was a show other than the main event, which is great. It was actually a really good match. And probably one too. So
these Saudi crowds lately, though, have been really kind of bad, and it's making me extra even worried for WrestleMania. That sitting on their hands for WrestleMania. I don't know how you see these crowds and then go oh boy, this looks like a good sign for how excited they're going to be for Mania. In addition to everybody else,
because they don't care. They're getting paid.
they're all the rich people that go there anyway. They're priced out. The people buy up all the tickets and then they scalp them and resell it. That's a big problem there, is that all the rich people buy up literally the entire stadium and then they mark up the resale and so the only people who can afford it are super rich people who don't care if they're loud or not. They're just there to be there.
Also, are they doing 2 nights? Because it feels like they're just doing the one.
I don't know if it's confirmed yet. They haven't said. I would assume it's 2 nights.
I just get the vibe that they're only advertising one. But anyway, maybe if it's two, it's two. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure if they're paying for WrestleMania, they're getting the 2-night, spectacular.
Yeah.
I would imagine so. For how much? What was it, $200 million price tag or something they paid for WrestleMania? Whatever they got paid. Something absurd. But I'm still just not excited about that. Please, Tony Khan, like I know we nitpick your booking sometimes, but like please spearhead like a weekend of wrestling for the United States or something, and and get everybody on board, and you'll be in our good graces again, So it just is what it is. Night of Champions, few highlights, some odd booking decisions, things like that. Mostly in the follow up, but we'll kind of see where it goes from here. The show, I think. Because the Sami Zayn thing was one of the big, headlines, but the show people kind of were talking about was Forbidden Door overall. We did watch Forbidden Door. Richie, did you get a chance to see?
I watched it on the YAW app later.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you get it for a little cheaper over there too. That's kind of cool, right? My AEW gimmick. I mean, we won't hit every single match. I'll just kind of run down some of the results. We can stop and talk about a few things if we need to. That wasn't advertised, JPO, but they added a pre-show match that I remember it started being like, I don't remember Daniel Garcia being advertised in a pre-show match, but Gorilla Maloney defeated Danny Garcia, so New Japan guy, but that kicked off the show. Micah defeated Sky Blue to qualify for that. We talked about the TBS Survival of the Fittest match. Divine Dominion retained their titles against Thunder Rosa and Olympia. And then, we kicked off the main show. Young Bucks defeated, El Sky Team and Unbound with Shingo Takagi and Titan, I believe. Not Titan, Titan, I believe is how.
Titan, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fun. We kind of figured this might open the show because it was it was like a PWG style kind of party match. Just a bunch of dudes flying around and Rick Knox not enforcing any rules and all the usual shenanigans of the Young Bucks, but a pretty fun one overall and a way to kind of kick off the show and get the crowd going. Fun opener. We had Kenny Omega, a pretty anticipated match, defeating Zack Sabre Jr. I believe they advertised as their first match, here in the United States against each other. Hell of a match. I really liked the style of this. Man, Zack Sabre had some crazy counters and pinfalls in this matchup. There was one where Kenny went to hooked him up in a full Nelson, to do the Snapdragon, and Sabre popped up and spun around and then pulled him down into a Fujiwara armbar. That was cool. He did a crazy pin where he scooted forward and locked Kenny's legs and then pulled his legs back with his own legs, and I was like, what the hell? What the hell's going on there? Jesus. I mean,
I thought it was cool, because I've never seen it before. You know how obviously Kenny does the gun point and Sabre just grabs the finger.
He hit him with about 18,000 V triggers in this match and a bunch of knees. Over and over again, just killing him with knees. I mean, I thought it kind of peaked at one point. They should have just hit the One Winged Angel, and they kept going for another minute and a half. I thought they kind of had the crowd peaked, and then Sabre tried to pull a triangle choke that looked kind of sloppy, and then eventually Kenny got the win. So again, me and Argus Artois, JPO was there, talked about kind of take it home at its peak, guys. You got to know when you have the crowd at the tippy top, and then sometimes just call an audible, just take it home. And instead they went an extra minute and a half and kind of killed some momentum. But was still a very, very, very good match. Fun overall. JPO, feel free to throw your thoughts in there. I'm just kind of running down the card a little bit. Feel free to cut me off anytime you want to. But if you had anything. No.
No. I mean, no. What we're talking about, Omega and Sabre. Yeah, no, everything really good stuff here. No, as we said before the show, the only problem with the show was the kind of some predictability and everything, and the length. Yeah, some matches again could have maybe been shortened by a couple minutes, but otherwise than that, this unlike Night of Champions, I don't think there's a bad match on this card. Technically, yeah.
No, this card was, we'll talk about it overall when we kind of score. Yeah, this card was damn solid. And I don't think there was a single, but even the worst match, and I'm trying to even look up what would I qualify as the worst match? Maybe like oddly enough, Cope and Cage and the Dogs,
Yeah,
maybe. But even that was
maybe.
like,
Yeah.
You know,
even that was like, no, even that was
good.
still like a 3-star
Yeah.
match, like still a perfectly decent like tag team match. You know what I mean? Like not bad.
I would have
But-
shaved some minutes off Mercedes and Maya.
Yeah, I maybe a little bit, but they had a hell of a match though. Like overall,
No, good man. Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's kind of like nitpicks at this point. Yeah.
No, it's a thing where everything went like 17, 18, 20 minutes. Yeah, and it's like, does everything need to be? I mean, we talked about how at the previous show, Osprey and Samoa Joe had like a 14-minute match, and it was just like a sprint banger, for 14 minutes. It was great. Like you can have an awesome match that's like Takeshita and Okada had an 18-minute match, and it was awesome. The previous show, like you can have
the
really
shortest
good
match was the Dogs match at 16.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you can have a good like 13, 15-minute match. Like you can tell a story and have a banger like within that time. Yeah, Tony's just big on, especially when he has the the people come over from the other promotions, like just giving them time to do whatever they want.
Well,
So
yeah, I would have probably shaved time off Tekla and Starlight.
Starlight Kid, yeah, that one went a little
That
long.
one for ages.
Yeah. Moxley and Bandito had a pretty solid match. It was one of those matches it got way more hard hitting than I thought it would, Richie, like a beat the shit out of each other kind of match.
Yeah.
And I think because Omega and Sabre just had this really good kind of wrestling match, the counters and a lot of the, a little bit of high flying, things like that. Good wrestling. And I think Moxley was just like, okay, we need to just go in there and just like have a fucking smash mouth match for for like 15 minutes. And that's kind of what they did. Bandito got bloody and they beat the hell out of each other, but it was a pretty good match as well.
I had a hard time working out with that. I'm supposed to like John Moxley half the time.
Yeah, the question is still: is John Moxley a heel or a face? Yes.
Yeah, because it's like he bloodies him up and then tries to rip his mask off, and then the commentators and even like Walker, who's pretty good on the show by the way, the guy from New Japan. He makes it. He was like, that's tradition. You can't do that. That's disgusting. And then they, after the match, they shake hands and.
And then in the main event, he's out there cheering Will Ospreay on, who's like a babyface, so I don't know. Yeah, Moxley seems to change from heel to babyface just depending on the hour. Not even depending on the day, the hour, whatever the hour of the day is. He switches between heel and babyface. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what he is. I don't know why he's trying to rip masks up. He's not trying to be like full on heel, but okay. Shota Umino defeated Pac to retain his IWGP Global Championship. Again, they had a good match as well. Shota's great.
And Moxley's out here again for that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to remember specifics of this one, but I remember it being good for what it was. But maybe it's another one you probably could have shaved off 3 or 4 minutes and had just a little more of a sprint, just kind of 13-minute real banger instead of 18 minutes. Again, another 18-minute match.
Yeah, maybe I did like this though. I was impressed by Shota and everything.
No, Shota was cool, and yeah, I've seen some stuff with him over the years, and it was cool that he got like a showcase on here. And Pac's great. When he's healthy, he's awesome. But yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize he was part of the death. They said he was like an unofficial part of the Death Riders or something. That was a storyline they're trying to tell. Is that he was kicked out? I'm like, I guess maybe it was a New Japan thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, news to me, I guess. So, Tekla defeating Starlight Kid. Again, Starlight Kid was cool. Another good match, but yeah, maybe a little too long. You could feel the crowd was kind of like, needed a little bit of a break at some point, maybe from the length. But most of the matches did a good job of getting people into what they were doing or getting them back into what they were doing. Overall, and the crowd. Hey, props to the crowd. They were hot, even though the show was long. They were hot most of the night, and yeah, even a few of the later matches that were in danger of kind of losing the crowd were able to kind of get it going again by the end. So, shout out to everybody on the show who were able to do that. Cope and Cage defended against the Dogs. I don't think there was any question about that. I mean, I think we all know that they're pretty much on the road to Wembley, in a big match, most likely with the Young Bucks or some variation of that.
And Jay White showed up.
Jay White, yeah, Jay White is back. Yeah, we I think we even talked about Jay White, JPO, like a few weeks ago or something, just being like, man, Jay White, man, because you're wonder where he's been. Is he healthy? What's going on? Is he back? And we'd heard rumors that he was healthy. We're just kind of waiting for him to show back up. But yeah, they kicked the lights off, and the Bang Bang Gang showed up, and then turned the lights back on. Jay White was in there, hit the Blade Runner, so he's back, and we'll see kind of where he goes now that he is. But I like Jay White, so I'm kind of glad to see him back.
I haven't seen Switch Ray Black.
Yeah, for sure. And then we got to the women's Owen Hart Cup Finals. Mercedes Moné defeating Maya World. I know a lot of people wanted Maya World to win. I think the crowd was getting really behind her in the match as it was going along. They had some fantastic near falls, some great counters, especially when Mercedes was kind of locked into some submissions later, hoping she would tap. So another really good one, and I hope this actually elevates Maya, because I got to be honest, I wasn't super familiar with Maya unless she's been wrestling on Collision or Ring of Honor or something.
She's been mostly a tag person. She's the one that replaced, as we've joked, like Tegan Knox and her partner. And so, this was a big breakout for her. My only thing is now you kind of made a star. If she disappears from TV or just put in random tags again.
What I would suggest
push her.
Yes, what I would suggest they do is that, because after the match, they did an interview with Athena, and she was just kind of shitty. She was, she was just kind of clowning on her, going, I always knew she was going to lose, blah, blah, blah. Wouldn't it be? I reckon she should beat Athena for the title, for the Ring of Honor title. Wouldn't that would kind of.
That's a good pull.
Yeah. I think that'd be a big moment, and
whoever does it. I said this before because I remember somebody was like, "Oh, they should have done it at Survival of the Fittest." I'm like, "No, that's the last place they should do it because you've earned up this big reign of Athena's. Whoever wins it, it should be a moment. It should be like a one-on-one moment." So Maya, that's actually a really great idea, and almost like consultation prize of like, all right, we wouldn't give you the Owen and whatnot. You're not going all in, but we are high enough on you to where, hey, we're going to let you take it off of Athena. I like that call, actually.
And actually, here's what I would do even to showcase it even more. And they've had Ring of Honor World Title matches on AEW pay-per-views. Have it on the Redemption pay-per-view. Have Maya fight Athena on that pay-per-view, and that would be a big.
I'm only iffy because I feel like that's kind of like making it obvious to me.
Even then, you just said you want a big moment, make it a pay-per-view moment on an AEW pay-per-view.
I know. I'm just saying that feels like, hey guys, for the first time ever.
I mean, but to me, it's. Are you gonna have her do it on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view that almost nobody's gonna watch?
That's their fault. If they advertise it better, they gotta take that show off of the paywall. They gotta just put that on my AEW or YouTube. Nobody's paying to watch a weekly show. Like that's just not happening.
So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. If you want people to see it,
I don't hate it. That would be my kind of like my pause, maybe.
Yeah, but the match itself was fantastic. This was a great. If we did the breakout stars of Maya would probably up there.
Maya could be in contention. For when we get to the marquees at the end of the year. Yeah, breakout star, sure. Yeah, Maya World. Yeah, it could be a contender, absolutely, and start making performance. in this tournament. So, I'm not opposed to that. Mercedes is going on to Wembley, which is again is weird. If Tekla's gonna hold on to it at Wembley, you have a weird like heel situation as well.
I have no idea.
I don't know. They're doing a battle royal thing or something to determine her challenger for Rebel. What's the next pay-per-view?
Redemption.
Yeah, Redemption. So maybe
they're doing another casino thing at Beach Break. The casino.
Maybe who wins that beats her. So unless like Mercedes turns babyface, which I don't.
That's weird. No, what's funny about Mercedes turning babyface? I said during the pay-per-view, I'm like, maybe they'll turn her babyface, and like a minute later, she's like, "Fuck you" to the crowd.
She's like, "Fuck you."
Maybe they're not turning her babyface.
I did like the moment where like they were doing the 10 count, and she was like, "Whoa!" She was running around. That was funny.
Great match, worth going out of your way to see. Definitely one of the better women's matches of the year for sure. And then, in a move that surprised a lot of us watching it live, the cage match was the semi-main event of the show. It was not a part of a triple main event, just like Richie hates. There were not 3 main events. There's one main event, and there's other matches. This is the semi-main event because it came before the main event. Team Briscoe of Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Takeshita, and Darby Allin defeated MJF's team of MJF, Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, Jake Doyle, Okada, and Andrade. Another one where you could tell the crowd was, getting tired, but it was a crazy, kind of plunder match. But I thought like really well booked and really well paced. Like they had a lot of spots to keep people interested, a lot of wild stuff. The one that caught me off guard was Takeshita did his like Blue Thunder bomb, like the one he did to the floor with Darby Allin, but through a table with Fletcher. Fletcher got up like 85 feet in the air for that thing. I was like, oh my God, holy shit. And like, it's almost like he tossed him and then caught him on the way down, on the descent with the Blue Thunder bomb. That was nuts. They had some fun stuff. They're using like Nintendos as weapons.
I like the gimmick of like everybody had something in their bag.
That was a fun gimmick to keep things. We've done stuff like that. Actually, in USWA, we pioneered a match called Spook City Roulette. It was a Dag and Briggs specialty, where essentially in 4 corners of the ring you had mystery boxes, and so the mystery boxes, whatever was in there, was like legal to use, or or change the match entirely. So we had some typical stuff like you'd open it up, there'd be like a chain in one or something. You could use a chain, or there'd be some kind of there was Legos in one. One time you poured Legos out to do the spot, things like that. There was blindfolds in one time, so the match became temporarily a blindfold match, things like that. Just kind of goofy stuff. One was we had a thing where there was a rope inside of it, and attached you followed the rope to the back and pulled on the rope, and Stunt Marshall came out, the wrestler who was famous for doing the slap fight thing or whatever recently, with the famous knockout, and he became a weapon that you could use and pile drove the other opponents, just shit like that. But anyways,
Leo Rush was in one of them.
That's what I mean. That's what I was getting to. Is like, having like people in bags and this giant shoulder bag. They opened it up, and Leo Rush popped out. And
he's getting really over, by the way.
That's what I mean. It's one of those things where like, this new gimmick, this new like crazy little golem monkey person gimmick, whatever the hell he's doing, like this wild man, it's getting
Sometimes
over. Like, it works.
Makes you stand out, man. Like, we're in such a fun, crazy world that like being just a great athlete and wrestler is not enough.
No.
So, what I mean? Like even Tony Storm was great, but timeless Tony Storm, holy shit. So like, same thing with Leo Rush. Leo Rush is great. He's been great for years, but like, he can kind of get lost in the shuffle again. Look at Scorpio Sky, but like found a thing to get people talking, and he wouldn't have had a pay-per-view spot without that. So
hey, Dominic Mysterio was coming along as an okay wrestler, second generation guy, but like it took him growing the stash and the mullet and becoming Dirty Dom to like really break out, and be Dirty Dom. Like sometimes you got to find your voice. We talked about Gunther, like finding his voice on the microphone and kind of his sort of niche and his gimmick. Like sometimes
I used to book this guy named Donovan, right? This guy's name was Donovan. He was just okay. Then he's like, I'm gonna put makeup on and curse people. I'm like, good luck, Donovan.
Good luck with that.
Maybe
a little bit.
He's
only like the number 1 merch seller in WWE right now, so I think it worked.
And hanging out with him.
Hey, sometimes he's number 2 behind some like Cody or Punk.
Cody or Jay or something. Yeah, I know. But I think they've said a couple of weeks out of the year he's been number 1, so he's close up there.
I just know. Sometimes he's only in the top 5.
I mean, sometimes he's only going to get a giant, merchandise check at the quarterly, checks or whatever. So,
I like Takeshita had the bag, and then he pulled out and he was just like,
pulled out the middle finger. Yeah, that was fun. MJ, I liked MJF sweeping up the tacks after they got used. That was fun. Like a true deal. We talked about that, and oh my God, Darby Allin took a face first bump into the tacks with like a 450. That was bad.
even he, the look on his face was like, look, I don't know what to pay. Even he looked like he regretted that spot.
Yeah, like, oops, that was probably not good. Like, they showed a replay of it. He really took it on the face. Like, he probably wanted to take more of like a chest bump, or get his arms down or something. But yeah, oh my God, it's still like the one we talk about, Richie, where I still can't believe. And Foley's even talked about taking the pedigree into the thumbtacks, which is like that could have been gone really bad if some of those went in my eye. Like that could have been horrible. But yeah, no, crazy spots. Kevin Knight opening the thing up on the cage and getting like a firework blast to the face, and then
the orange peel with Kyle Fletcher, squeezing the orange
peel in his eyes. Yeah. So yeah, some fun spots all around. And again, we talked about peak stuff. There was a moment where they did that spot, and then Darby like jumped on everybody, and then in the ring, Mark Briscoe hit the J drill on MJF, and like the crowd was at its peak, and they should have pinned it right there. Like, and then they kept going. It felt like kind of went on an extra 5 minutes that they didn't need, but we had to get to the Andrade stuff because the Andrade pulling off the shirt that said like "fuck Don Callis" and "fuck MJF." That was fun. So yeah, he's kind of gunning for his title shot. So we'll see where that goes here in the near future. But yeah, I mean, just to follow up on that, so Briscoe did get his shot. He wanted it on Dynamite. We speculated about that. He was unsuccessful in that. And yes, to follow up with Kenny Omega earlier, they're doing our favorite gimmick where somebody has like voluntarily been like, yes, I'll have a match with you, and if I lose, I'll never be able to challenge for the world title again. Don't do that. That's just stupid. Like, stop doing that. Like, it didn't work with Cody. It's baffling when they did it with Hangman again, and now they're doing it for a third time with Kenny Omega. Look, it's one thing if you do a similar thing where the heel champion or whatever says, as long as I'm the champion, you'll never get a shot again. That's fine. I have no problem with that gimmick. Like, as long as I'm champion, if you lose, you'll never get a shot again. I have no problem with that gimmick. That's a total heel move, like, to ensure that they don't have to face that person again. That's fine. But to say, I'll never challenge for the world title ever again, no matter who has it, that's just dumb.
Stop. But also, why are they doing it next week? Why
are they doing it next? I don't know. And I guess maybe they can say Omega hasn't officially accepted it yet, or something, the terms. So maybe it won't actually happen next week. Maybe,
or like, are they? Because they can't. What are they going to lead to? Because you're in Canada, you can't do like MJF and Andrade on pay-per-view.
Yeah, you should be doing MJF and Omega if you're going to put the title on Omega anyways. Why not do it on pay-per-view in Canada? And you still get to the same outcome if you want to do Omega and Will Ospreay at Wembley. You can still get there by stopping in between, right there. I don't understand. Again, it's not officially booked for next week because he hasn't officially accepted or whatever. Maybe he doesn't, or says, I don't want to do it next week. I'll do it at Redemption or whatever. Maybe maybe that's where they're going. But man, if they give that match away next week, that's silly. You're pissing away money. I don't know why Tony Khan likes giving away. Same thing. Aren't they doing Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher next week as well? Like,
I think so. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a pay-per-view match. Do that at the pay-per-view. That's a really good redemption match. Do that match on the undercard. That sounds great.
Why did you bother to this is a new pay-per-view. Why did you bother introducing this new pay-per-view if you're scared to add matches to this pay-per-view?
If you're just gonna do all these matches on Dynamite, what are you saving for the pay-per-views? Start building some things, and build up to it. So whatever, we'll get there. And then your main event again. You can tell the crowd was tired for a little bit of this, but they got him back and had a hell of a war. Will Ospreay defeating Swerve Strickland 35 minutes. But they made the most of it because goddamn, these guys beat the shit out of each other in this match. This was a freaking fight. They told a hell of a story. I like that they've kind of been building up the stuff, with Ospreay, and it actually has started to pay off. Like, it does look like a different type, where he's looking, he is looking a little more vicious, doing what he, even the one thing, what he said he wasn't going to do it again with the Tiger Driver because Moxley was encouraging him to do it, things like that, hitting Moxley's finishers, hitting the Tiger Driver, doing all that. Oh my God, did Swerve hit like an Eddie Guerrero gusher on the show? Oh my God, Jesus. Dude was pouring blood everywhere, had like the whole face full of blood type of thing, which we've seen him bleed a little bit before, but nothing like that. But Jesus Christ, he was bleeding all over the damn place. It was a nasty, brutal match. The hidden blades were gross. The house calls were gross. The swerve stomps were gross. Yeah, all the finishers were nasty. This was a hell of a match, and I'm probably going to go back and watch this at some point again. But they told a great story here, and amazing match, Richie. Thoughts on it?
Yeah, this match it's fantastic, but like pretty brutal. I knew they were going to go long. I knew they were probably going long even when I started the show, because when I started the show, when I clicked on the show, the timeline, it was like 4:59. This show goes for 5 hours. I'm like,
it was started on the East Coast here it started at like 12:15, like the next after midnight here, and then went 35 minutes. So the show went off the air at like 12:45. For us, it was bad.
So I'm just like, oh my god! And then when I realized like all these matches getting time, and I'm like, okay, man, they must be giving a lot of time for this. It was well worth it. They just beat that absolute shit out of each other. And it's not like they even have that. It's interesting, man. It's not like they even have like a huge blood feud. It's also like the in like a Hangman Swerve situation. So my god, imagine if they actually hated each other. But this was gnarly as shit. But full credit to them, man. Like I would say Swerve will probably, he'll always be up there. He'll probably be champion again at some point. I would like to see a Swerve heel run as champion. This is. I'll probably go rewatch this as well at some point. This is fantastic, very, very, very gnarly. And I'm liking this sort of new direction of a Ospreay's sort of character.
No, I mean, and who's to say they can't do it? Run it back again. Once Ospreay's the champion, and again have a different dynamic to the match with him as champion and sort of challenging, they can still do that, down the line. So not to say they couldn't, but JPO, any thoughts on the main event here with Will and Swerve?
Yeah, no, this is another good example of if you can have 3 or 4 options as your match of the night, rather. You know what I mean? If you really dug Omega Sabre, I got no qualms. If you're just a cage match, spot fest guy, I got no qualms. I might lean towards this, but then again, I'd like to maybe rewatch those.
Hell, if you said Mercedes and Maya was yours like that,
no,
I wouldn't even argue against that either.
That's a top-notch match, man. They did good. They did good stuff, man. Good baby heel work. This is honestly, and again, it's a great match. I know, we've seen these 2 wrestle before. About a year ago. So, and they're 2 of the great ones going today. So, kudos to them, because I remember we all on the stream were like, "Oh, this is the last," and then afterwards you're like, "Yeah, that was last," because that's a fucking main event, baby.
Yeah, right. I would have been even more into it. So I may go back and try to rewatch it. While I've got the purchase, because they let you hang on to it for 2 or 3 months when I purchased it. But just because I was kind of tired, going into watching it, and they got me into it. But I would like to see it with kind of fresh eyes. And a lot of these, if you go into the show, I would advise breaking it up into pieces, because it does feel lengthy. You do feel length a little bit, but again, there's some bangers, straight up bangers on the show, and I think it'll be in contention for one of the show of the year things between this and Double or Nothing. I think Double or Nothing had overall maybe better pacing on the show. The show kind of ended.
I might have been more attached to the matches to a degree.
So a little bit.
Over on the Karen.
A little bit more unpredictability and kind of a little more story going on that show, things like that. They may put it over. But if you're looking for just again great wrestling on a show, this was a hell of a show to watch. I mean, multiple. 4 or 5 star bangers, I
was saying, cage matches ratings 5 out of 9 matches are all 8 or 9 out of 10s. So that's pretty high.
Yeah, no, and I guess we'll see what Meltzer. I would imagine, there could be multiple 5-star matches on the show. Maybe it's very possible. So
I don't. It looks like he hasn't done it yet. He's slow.
He comes out like a week later, something like that, with him when he puts up the newsletter. So we'll see. Probably by next show we'll know. But if you're looking for straight up wrestling content, I mean, we've always talked about that. How it could be, they're a little less on story, maybe, or kind of big moments on AEW. But yeah, if you're just looking for straight wrestling, if you watch a WWE show and you're sick of the ads and the non-wrestling, you switch over to AEW, you're going to get no ads with a pay-per-view, which I consider a plus. And certainly
I agree.
A lot, and you're going to get more than your money's worth of pure wrestling, and you're going to get some, usually at least one or two match of the year candidates and things of that nature. So
it feels like a next level show. My problem with WWE is that it almost just feels like it's another Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
AEW pay-per-views feel like, okay, tonight we're giving you a lot. We're going long. We're giving them time. We're putting, some of the best matches together. A lot of fresh matches. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, sorry, we're the best wrestle. It's actually true.
Yeah. Where we give them time to wrestle, where we give them, a creative ability to wrestle, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Hey, because I would bet it's a thing with Tony where he's like, let's say Shota Umino and Pac, right? Hey, you guys got like 15, 20 minutes. Just do what you do. You know what I mean? Put it together and do your thing. It's probably a case of that. Will and Swerve, it's probably like, hey, listen, here's the story I want you guys to tell, maybe some finishes like this, whatever, and then you guys just do what you do, for half an hour, I'm sure it's a lot of that, similar to kind of a lot of indie shows.
It's one of those things where, I know, like, maybe the knock on Pinball sometimes is like, apart from a couple of matches, like a lot of the matches are just sort of like put together because of the sort of the gimmick of like, AEW versus CML or New Japan or Stardom, but like, I that on the night they make it feel important because I feel like nearly every match on the show had like a video package for it. Like it had a build up for like, I miss those because like you don't really even get, instead of like a video package or whatever, you get like, you're just inundated with ads and then you get maybe one video package building up a match like a main event on WWE. You don't get like, you don't get a reason to, if you're just coming in and then blind, you don't really get a reason to care about all the other sort of matches going on. But like, they had like a, they had like a match build up for like, for pretty much like just everything, like, so, and they did a good job of explaining who people are that you might not know who and they are, and they were, it was just, I thought they did. Like for example, with Starlight Kid, they did a really good job at like kind of with a video package to explain that story and with the problems with particular problems with the Prison of Stardom that we card about. And she came. I think Starlight Kid came across quite well, and she was at the end of the match she got quite over. So like I just think they do presentation wise, they just do a good job of making you feel more important. Where obviously WWE these days just feels corporate and then trying to.
And it's about pacing because I don't feel like I'm waiting around, twiddling my thumbs for ads to end, like, on AEW pay-per-views. Because again, I don't mind a video package for a match. Yeah, do a video package, and the ones they do for AEW are not even that long. They'll just do like a minute, like a minute video package.
That's what happened.
Give me the highlights of the last couple of weeks of Dynamite or whatever feud they got, or if they have feuded in another promotion or in the past, like catch me up like a little bit of the. Some Stardom footage of the Starlight Kid. Okay, boom, bang, boom. Okay, cool. I know who this person is. Great. Like, give me that. Like, I will never complain about that. I'm fine with video packages before the match, catching me up on what's going on. And you know what else we won't complain about? Hey, go to the backstage for a pre or post match interview. Like, I'm fine with that too. Like having Mark Briscoe, even though the audio was bad, and kind of in and out, like screaming about how he wants MJF and he got a bloody face and he's screaming, MJF, I want you on Dynamite. We gonna move on in Dynamite on Wednesday Dynamite. I'm gonna get you. Whatever. Like, that's fine. I love stuff like that. Like, get their thoughts after the match. Get a thought on the way out to the ring. Hey, what's gonna happen out there? Blah blah. Give me a vignette of people running into each other backstage. I'm fine with all that. If you need to kill a little time, 2-3 minutes in between matches, to kind of get set up, get ready to go, give me a breather. Cool. I'll never complain about that. That's what we miss, Richie. About we watch these old WWE pay-per-views, they do that shit all the time. Like, let's do a match. We go backstage for something, for a vignette, for a promo, for a video package, like something, to kind of, break it up just a little bit and then like get back into the action. Like, there's no problem.
Yeah. And like you said before, they're doing a good job putting up new stars. Like I forgot to mention in the cage match. I think they did a good job also, like on commentary and also on on the show just in spots, putting over Jake Doyle. He did a lot in this match. He was like there. Yeah. So I was just I've always liked Jake something. So I was just like, oh cool, I'm glad to. Because I wasn't even sure he was supposed to be in this match. I think Mark Davis was having like visa issues. So
I was going to say, I thought it was Mark Davis at first. They look kind of similar, but not quite. They just kind of have a similar look. But no, I mean, he was like, obviously they put him over as like he was the big, mean, scary bruiser guy, in this match, and that's fine. Like I like having one of those guys in these types of matches doing big spots.
So it was good, and just he put him over someone important and not just another guy in a match. I was like, no, he was actually a very important piece of the puzzle. So
overall, as far as pay-per-view goes, again, our usual nitpicks of like kind of runtime and pacing, as far as just the length of the show. I'm glad they're starting an hour earlier, because that's one simple fix. If you're gonna run these longer shows, I've just said start at 7 instead of 8. It makes a difference, wrapping up at like 11 or 11:30 instead of 12 or 12:30. It makes it doesn't seem like a lot at the time, but it really is. So I'm glad they're maybe switching to that. Maybe just I want to find that happy medium. Like, WWE doesn't do enough matches. Sometimes AEW does 1 or 2 too many. Like 8 matches is that sweet spot, man. 8, and you can give each one of them time. Like, man, 8 matches is that sweet spot. He just can't quite do it. He just has to add those extra like 1 or 2 things, to get to like 9-10 matches. That's why I think Double or Nothing even had like 9 on the main card. It was close. It was really close to having that sweet spot of 8, but maybe we'll get there at some point. But overall, this is a hell of a show.
I will say I'll take more than less. I'll still take it over.
No. And that's what I'm saying. I can't complain too much because I enjoyed the wrestling. I just there is a sweet spot to have. Like, man, what a perfect show. Like, he'd leave you wanting more to a degree, at the end of the thing, just being like, oh man, that was awesome. It takes your breath away and then you move on. So that's the only thing that could like stop me from giving it, like a perfect score or whatever. But man, this is a total just like Double or Nothing, like a 9 out of 10 show. It's pretty damn great, so you'll get a little tired if you watch it straight through. I would recommend breaking it up into like 2 halves or something. But some incredible matches, some hard-hitting and all styles too, hard-hitting matches, some high-flying stuff, some good like submission-based wrestling, things like that. Good women's action, good men's action. Big time thumbs up, JPO, at least for the show overall.
I mean, no, absolutely a thumbs up here, man. No, I mean, Night of Champions, I'm always like torn on like rating because I'm like, there are some lows. I do enjoy the Sami Zayn part. Right. This I have no qualms in saying thumbs up all the way here. You know what I mean? Like, I'll definitely, I would say at the end of the day, put Double or Nothing over just because I was more invested. But again, if you're just looking for good wrestling, I think this absolutely hits the mark. Like you said, I mean, unless you're able to marathon without a problem, watching a couple chunks, nothing's really super skippable. Even the skippable match is probably still a decent match, and there's some great stuff. So, absolutely.
For sure. Richie?
No, fantastic show. Definitely up there as show of the year. And the only thing that's putting it down, puts it probably Double or Nothing ahead of it is just because, there's more Double or Nothing across the board, probably more, storyline driven and more invested that way. But in terms of wrestling, you can't go wrong with this. And maybe shorten the length, then it would be kind of perfect. But like as long as if you're watching chunks, like I watched it in chunks over a couple of days, so you can have a good time here. It's really really solid show. So probably I'll give it a thumbs up, and solid probably 9 out of 10. So
And by the way, JPO, that Slammiversary I heard overall was a good show. Worth going either way to see for anybody who was interested.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, they have a solid roster. Well, there is some backstage stuff I don't love. You know what I mean? No, again, like you can't deny like a solid roster. Fun to see Ultimate X. Tato had never seen a match like that before. I was like, hey, have you ever seen this thing where there's cross cables and they fucking shit to the title? You get your ladder match. You get a good solid main event. I would have preferred more of a heel face because again, Neva's a bit of a tweener. But again, overall, so yeah, solid show. They have a solid roster. So.
Yeah, no, they got the talent on the show. I just don't know if they get what showcases. Yeah, some of the other, like they do in AEW. But yeah, I heard it was a good show overall. Now here's the real question. So far, if I had to name some of my shows of the year, I think there's at least 2 AEWs. I think Double or Nothing and this Forbidden Door are kind of up there on shows of the year. I would put that AAA Noche show with the Mask versus Match, on my potential shows of the year. I thought that show was really fun.
That show ruled, yeah.
And that show ruled and had an amazing main event, match of the year candidate. Does WWE by the end of the year even have anything on show of the year contention? Because so far, I would say no, not this year.
Alien Night 2 is good, but compared to the others,
Yeah, I don't have anything from them this year in contention yet at all.
It's tough, match. Again, I don't think the 5 thing helps, and then on top of that, I don't know if they don't really have these great big bangers. They're just kind of they're good. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, probably not compared to other companies that are really putting.
Yeah, when I'm putting together that list of 5 or whatever we do for the marquees, your shows of the year. So far, no. I don't know if any are making the cut at all. It's going to be all AEW or like I said, a couple of AAA. Hey, Triple Mania is looking better and better as we go along. As far as that might be a show I'm more excited for than anything AEW coming up. That or not AEW. I'm sorry, WWE. Something like AAA, the Triple Mania show, the AEW Wembley, things like that. Shows I'm looking forward to. SummerSlam, even I'm sure there'll be good stuff on it. Once the card comes together. Maybe Brock and Oba will be good. I mean, if they do Io and Rhea, maybe, if they put that on the show, I don't know.
I had to laugh, and people, getting on it too. But Triple H on the socials was advertising, Roman and Seth at SummerSlam, and he was 14 years in the making. I'm like, dude, they wrestle every year. They've wrestled at SummerSlam. What do you mean 14 years? What does that mean?
No, I hate to say it. Even when I saw that on Raw, I'm not against it, but I'm not over the moon about it. Seth and Roman again will probably be solid, but not super great.
But it's another match we've seen. Another match we've seen before. It's not a fresh match. Yeah, even Oba and Brock at this point, it's the 3rd one. I get that they're doing the Hell in a Cell gimmick, but
that's the only thing. I'll say that does amp me a little more.
I hope so. Brock's 2nd Hell in a Cell match ever, just him and Undertaker, right? Unless I'm forgetting something.
He didn't do that.
I feel like he would have.
I don't know. That's easy to double check.
Yeah, he didn't do one in the 2010s, did he? Randomly against somebody, unless I'm forgetting something. But I'm pretty sure during his original run, it was just him and Taker in the Hell in a Cell, right?
Yeah,
definitely that original run. There's a Taker rematch in 2015.
Okay, I must have forgot about all of that.
So yeah,
actually, that shows you how remember what that was.
That is it though. That is a good call though. I mean, that's 2015, so this is his first one in 11 years.
In a long time.
And now that against Taker.
Yeah, another one against
against Taker.
Yeah, so I mean that 02 one is really good though when you go back and watch it. That's a brutal.
Yeah, when
it's pretty highly rated too.
The last pay before 10 Babyface.
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's the 3rd one. It's the rubber match or whatever, I guess, and if they do. I guess Io maybe facing Rhea. Is that what they're setting up for? Maybe have their big matches.
No, they've got Io and Liv. They even announced that. They announced it.
So they're just having another rematch. Why not? Why not just do Io and Rhea? That's a bigger match. Doing it at SummerSlam. That's a big
you did match in the ring to
set up the SummerSlam match.
I think maybe because obviously maybe that it's questionable whether the Rhea's whether she's injured or not, or what's going to happen. So it might be hard to be like, be like, Rhea, I might see you at SummerSlam, but at least at least Liv's a bit more definitive. Like she'll. So yeah, but it is weird. It's sort of they booked themselves in a corner by having Liv in the match in the first place. Like if
Liv didn't have to have her in the first place. They've got other women on the roster. They have a huge roster of ladies. You could have had anybody else.
Raquel in the final.
You could have had Io and Raquel, and Io and Raquel then at least would have been like, oh, I don't know about this. They could go with Raquel again, Raquel and Liv. Like that could be a match. Like they would have made it more unpredictable. But no, we talked about that when she was first announced for the thing. Everybody went, what? So now it's even weirder. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what else gets added, but I'm not yet really excited for SummerSlam, so I don't know. And especially, they got 2 nights, so that's a lot of matches they're gonna have to start building up. What else do you think we see here? We got a month, so what do you think we're gearing towards?
It's a lot of matches. It's probably gonna be 12 at the end of the day, or 10.
Yeah, I know, 6 and 6. Yeah, with a lot of ads. Add a slam.
Tony Khan books that much for one pay-per-view.
Some are ads. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, what do we do? What do we got? Who does Sammy face? What are we doing there?
Does he just rematch Cody and beat him? I don't know.
I don't know. Does he face Gunther again? Yeah. Well, what goes on there? I don't know. We beat Gunther again. It's like I don't know if that's a good idea.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be SummerSlam. It looks like they might be. Like, I keep saying they're setting up something with Nick Aldis, but I feel like Nick Aldis eventually is going to wrestle. So I don't know if there's something in there with Gunther and Nick Aldis, but yeah, at least that'd be kind of interesting, something new. But yeah, I don't know who Sammy faces. People are scaring me online because you thought it was like, hey, or they were like, well, over, he's got this title shot. He's supposed to face Brock. What if Brock took the title off Sammy? Like, don't put that out there. So,
I guess there could be a Gunther Nick Aldis thing. They've been having a lot of altercations, though, right? If Nick Aldis is back in the ring.
I think Meltzer again was saying like maybe Nick Aldis could end up getting a match. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you do. Bailey and Lyra have their match at SummerSlam, I would imagine, on one of the 2 nights.
Yeah, that could be. I could also, unfortunately, I don't, and I want it at SummerSlam, but I could also see them blowing that off at Saturday's main event or something. But
that's right. Yeah, we keep forgetting there's a Madison Square Garden Saturday night's main event in like 2 weeks or something that they're gonna have matches on as well. That's where you get your tag team matches. You won't get any tag team matches on SummerSlam. I can almost guarantee you that. The Street Profits will defend against somebody at Saturday night's main event. that'll be.
They'll Austin Theory will get someone in. They'll find someone who's not injured. I don't know. Just to fight the titles, I don't know, or they'll find some tag, some tag thing. That's where you get. I'm not sure who else that you got. I guess Trick. Yeah, because Trick's not really feuding with like a lot.
Trick, I could see a multi-man thing with like Trick and like Ricky and Carmelo or something, or maybe even a 4th person in there, like a 3-way or a 4-way, kind of situation. I'd imagine.
Could work. You got and then I think Penta's been built. They're building up like a multi-man for ages with Penta, like maybe Penta, like Rusev, Ethan Page, Javon. So that could happen there as well, maybe.
A couple of things, and some kind of bloodline thing, I'm sure, somewhere on the card.
I'm sure there'll be some Danhausen shenanigans, cursing people.
Yeah. Something. He's all over the advertising for the Madison Square Garden thing because of the Knicks, so he's something on that show. Anything else you guys want to cover? Otherwise, we started a little late. We can start wrapping it up. Anything else you guys want to throw out there?
No, not really. There's nothing too much. I guess we have a bit of a dead week next week, don't we?
We have 2 dead weeks, so I know one of them will do. We might spin a wheel of SummerSlam, and do a retro. I know we talked about JPO maybe picking either 2010s women or current tag teams. I think is on the table still for Rankum if we wanted to do another Rankum. I don't know if you would want to do it next week or the week after, so it kind of depends on you. It kind of depends on you, JPO. What would you want to do next week or the week after? Or should we do SummerSlam closer to SummerSlam, or we can do it next week? And whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I would imagine SummerSlam closer to SummerSlam now, so maybe next we do a Rankum. But that's just my opinion. Whatever.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to pivot to? Do you want to pivot to the women since we haven't done?
Yeah, let's mix it up.
Back to that. Pivot to the women.
We'll cover. Okay, so we left off with the women. We did the 2000s. So 2010s, and that'll be it could be a contentious one. That because that was certainly a decade where it heated up. So
now even more so than before. Yeah, you got a couple of companies to consider now. Absolutely, yeah.
Women's evolution, all that stuff. Yeah, the NXT stuff, everything like that. So that could be an interesting one. So they really amped it up in 2010. So we'll talk about it. Let's do a little Rankum, and then at the end of that show, I'll pull up a wheel. We'll spin a wheel of SummerSlam. I'll go back and see which ones we covered before and which ones we haven't. So and we'll spin a wheel and do a retro one for that dead week, and then the week after that will be predictions for Redemption. It'll be there on the 23rd, and we'll cover that, and then the following week we'll cover Redemption and do SummerSlam predictions. So
Super
Slam. No, not John Cena. Super Slam. SummerSlam. But I'm sure they won't let us miss John Cena. I'm sure he'll announce for something at SummerSlam.
He'll host it again. Do nothing.
Yeah, he'll be a host or something or other, just because we won't get a chance to miss him and stuff. So, have you seen? Is that Little Brother movie out? I guess it is. JPO on Netflix with him and Eric John. Did you?
How did I not ask about that tonight? How could I have not asked about that?
I know, right? So I figured you probably were all over that already.
Day one, baby. Day one, I saw that movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
I only knew about it because I saw random like Facebook or TikTok videos or whatever of people interviewing John Cena. I was like, well, what's his new movie right now? Oh, it's something with Eric Andre. Okay, that's it.
Is that why Eric Andre was on? Was he supposed to? Because Eric Andre was on Raw.
That's probably what it was, right? It was promoting that essentially.
I don't know if they even mentioned it, but they probably would imagine they did. Yeah, because they because it is Netflix too on top of it.
Yeah, they do Netflix stuff. Yeah, tie-in stuff. So I would imagine that's probably what it was for.
They both have been hitting it hard. They've been popping up in all sorts of podcasts I've seen anyway.
All right. Well, let's get to the plugs and parting words, and we'll get out of here for tonight. So, Richie, anything you want to throw out there?
Yeah, you can. Catch me. Wheel of Movies will come back next week. We'll talk about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and that should be fun. Then we're obviously you can catch me here every week. You can catch me while we love horror. And it's pretty much just put them fight to see Ranko, all that jazz. David Cromwell's. There you go, Rankin.
David Cromwell's. Hey, he was a question tonight on ASAT. Tell him about it. Of course it was. I knew that one was coming at some point because I was like, yeah, that's right. He's in Supergirl. Of course he's gonna ask about that.
Hell yeah. So, of course. I haven't even seen it. I was like, I hope he's in it enough.
he's in a little bit. It's like flashback stuff, and she's telling the story, but he gets a decent showcase. I will say
it was high enough on the billing.
But I will say his performance is in Kryptonian language. It's not in English, so that's something. So
he dabbles in multiple languages. Yes.
Yeah, he sure does. So there you go. Anyways, please hit it. What you got?
Oh, me? Me? Okay. Over at the Pierce Co., we're still continuing the tag team tournament. I finally was able to schedule a tricky team. So tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, it'll be a match for once afternoon trivia because that's what everyone agreed. I swear to God, if someone cancels, I'm going to kill all four of them. Because that has been a tough match. I'm still trying to schedule the other match that's been a pain in the ass. But we are still going. Just people's schedules don't always align. Tournament stuff over there. 2026 shenanigans. You'll see the three of us talk about movies we didn't like soon. I just talked horror. Going to talk TV sometime soon. So lots of 2026 retrospective, at least the halfway mark. And yeah,
Yeah,
ranking
yeah.
David, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, and as far as me, yeah, I'll be hosting tomorrow night. JP will be back on Tournament Fest tomorrow night. Yeah, the Patriotic America Tournament tomorrow night. We'll be starting about 9:15 or so. I'll be wrapping up a watch along on the channel, and then we'll get started. But I'll be hosting, yeah, just in time for the 4th of July, a little America kind of patriotic tournament. Should be a good time. Yeah, that movie's in there. So yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, I'll be on with these two guys on the Pierce Co. I believe Monday night at 10 p.m. is what we agreed on for the worst of 2026 so far. That's always a fun time. I always like talking bad movies with you guys. It's fun. So that's always a fun one. And then we'll do the best of. By the way, we'll do a best of podcast on the Movie Hero Network later in the month probably. So whatever we do, shenanigans all over the place. We'll do one on our show as well. And then Richie said we'll movies next week. That's about kind of all I got for now. So, we'll wrap it up for there, and we'll come back next week and do some rank 'em of the 2010s ladies. That should be a good time. So I'm sure JPO will find us some honorary lonely marks as he usually does with the little. Ooh, it's a lady. All right, but we'll wrap it up there. So for Richie Goodacre, for JPO, Jordan Owens, I'm Austin Bessel, and we'll see you guys next week on the Lonely Marks. Bye.